You ever look up at a massive jumbo jet, a machine weighing hundreds of tons, and just wonder, how in the world does that thing get off the ground? Now, the simple answer you've probably heard is something about the curved shape of the wing. But honestly, that's a huge oversimplification. The real secret, the truly elegant principle that underpins all of modern aviation, is a simple rule that nature always, always follows. A rule that solved a mathematical paradox that had the greatest minds in early aviation totally stumped. Today, we're going to unravel that secret. So here's the plan. We'll start with the elegant equation that governs lift. Then we'll hit the massive problem it created, a single question with literally infinite answers. We'll dig into why most of those answers are physically impossible, thanks to something called the sharp edge problem. And then, the breakthrough, nature's simple rule that just solves everything. Finally, we'll see how that one rule is at the heart of designing the most advanced aircraft in the world today. All right, let's get right to it. At the very heart of understanding flight, there's one incredibly powerful, yet almost shockingly simple, mathematical relationship. This is it. This is the Kutta-Joukowski theorem. I know, it looks simple, right? But this little equation is basically the holy grail for calculating the lift force on a wing. You've got L prime, which is lift per unit of wingspan, equals rho times V infinity times gamma. So what does all that actually mean? Let's break it down. Rho, that's just the density of the air. V infinity is the speed of the plane. Simple enough. But gamma? Gamma is where all the magic happens. It stands for circulation. Just imagine the air swirling around the wing as it slices through the sky. Circulation is the measure of that net rotational motion of the air around the airfoil. The stronger the circulation, the more lift you get. This one variable right here is the absolute key to flight. And this diagram just shows how beautifully it all works. You've got the airflow, Q infinity, coming straight at the wing. You've got the circulation, gamma, which is that swirling motion around it. And the Kutta-Joukowski theorem tells us something profound. The lift force, F, is always perpendicular to both of them. So you get horizontal airflow, a spinning circulation, and boom, a powerful upward force. That's your lift. But this elegant equation was hiding a massive, massive problem. Okay, so the equation itself is perfect. It tells us point blank, if we know the circulation, we know the lift. But that if turned out to be a really, really big if. This is the central mystery that just drove early engineers crazy. This is the million-dollar question, right? The Kutta-Joukowski theorem is like a recipe that says add the secret ingredient to taste, but it doesn't tell you what the ingredient is or how much to use. For any wing, at any speed, how much circulation does it actually create? And this is where things get really strange. Early mathematicians, to make their lives easier, modeled airflow using something called an inviscid fluid. It's just a theoretical fluid with zero friction, zero stickiness. Think of it as perfectly slippery. But when they applied their equations to this perfect model, they got a completely bizarre result. The math didn't spit out one answer for circulation. It gave them an infinite number of possible solutions. That meant a wing could theoretically generate any amount of lift from 0 to infinity, which, is clearly not how reality works. Something was fundamentally missing. So to figure out which of these infinite solutions was the right one, scientists had to look at what these mathematical flows would actually look like in the real world. And the key was to focus on the sharp trailing edge of the wing. Let's look at case 1. What if there's zero circulation? Well, the math works, but look at the flow pattern it predicts. It's weird. The point where the airflow rejoins, the rear stagnation point, is way up on the top of the wing. That would mean the air flowing underneath has to make this crazy sharp turn upwards to meet it. That just doesn't happen. And of course, the Kutta-Joukowski theorem correctly predicts that with zero circulation, you get zero lift. So this answer is out. Now let's jump to the other extreme, a ton of circulation. In this case, the math tells us the flow has to somehow wrap itself tightly around that sharp trailing edge. But think about that. For air to make that impossibly sharp turn, it would have to accelerate to an infinite velocity. It's just physically impossible. So this solution is out too. So we're stuck. The math gives us this whole spectrum of possibilities. But the obvious ones on either end are just physically absurd. We have this beautiful equation for lift, but we can't actually use it because we don't know which value of circulation nature decides to pick. So what really happens? And the answer, as it turns out, wasn't found in some more complicated equation. It was found in a simple, elegant observation of what really happens. This was the breakthrough. And there it is. This is the one. Out of all the infinite mathematical possibilities, nature picks the one and only flow pattern where the air from the top and the bottom meets perfectly at that sharp trailing edge and just flows off smoothly together. Not above it, not whipping around below it, right at the tip. This beautifully simple observation is called the Cotta condition. So let's put a proper definition on it. The Cotta condition basically states that a wing will naturally generate the exact amount of circulation it needs to make sure nothing crazy is happening at that sharp trailing edge. The velocities from the top and bottom just meet up, the pressures equalize, and the air streams away peacefully. It's nature's tiebreaker. It picks the one physically plausible solution out of an infinity of mathematical ghosts. And what's so genius about this is that it lets us use all that simple invised math for most of the airflow while still capturing the single most important effect of real-world friction, or viscosity, right where it counts the most, at that sharp edge. It's viscosity in the real world that stops that impossible infinite velocity turn from happening. The Cotta condition is our way of acknowledging that physical reality without having to use much, much harder equations everywhere else. And the best part is, this simple physical rule translates into a clean, simple mathematical rule. It tells us that the local circulation strength, that's little gamma, right at the position of the trailing edge, which we call x equals c, has to be 0. And that is the final piece of the puzzle we were missing. So now, let's see how this goes from a clever theoretical fix to being the absolute cornerstone of modern aircraft design. Here's the whole chain of logic in 3 simple steps. First, we apply the Cotta condition. The flow must leave the trailing edge smoothly. That automatically forces a single, unique value for the total circulation, gamma. Second, we take that one and only correct value for gamma and we plug it straight into our Cotta-Joukowski theorem. And third, out pops the correct, real-world value for the lift on the wing. The puzzle is solved. Now, why is this so important today? Because this exact principle is the engine that powers a huge class of software called computational fluid dynamics, or CFD, specifically codes known as panel methods. These are the tools engineers use to design wings and simulate airflow without ever having to build a physical model. So how does a computer actually use this? Well, in these panel methods, the software first chops up the surface of the airfoil into hundreds of little flat segments, or panels. It then creates a big system of equations to describe the flow over all these panels. But you hit a classic math problem. You have more unknown variables than you have equations. It's an unsolvable system, unless you have one more rule. And that's where the Cotta condition becomes the hero. It provides that one final crucial equation the system needs. It basically tells the computer, hey, no matter what you calculate, the flow strength at those 2 panels on the trailing edge has to add up to 0. And with that one simple command, the entire system clicks into place and becomes solvable. And we're not just talking about simple wings here. Look at this incredibly complex model of a modern aircraft. Every single surface that generates lift, the main wings, the tail, the canards, they all have a sharp trailing edge. And in the computer simulation, the Cotta condition is applied to every single one of them. That's how we go from a simple observation to being able to accurately simulate an entire complex aircraft. So when you boil it all down, the journey from an impossible math problem to designing the most advanced fighter jets in the world was made possible by one simple observation from over a century ago. Flow leaves a sharp edge smoothly. It is the essential bridge that connects the clean, perfect world of ideal theory with the messy, practical reality of actual flight. But think about it. This elegant rule works perfectly for an aircraft in smooth, steady flight. Which brings up a really fascinating question. What happens when things get unsteady? Like in a sudden gust of wind or during a rapid hygiene maneuver? Does the flow still leave the trailing edge quite so smoothly? Or does nature's simple rule need a few exceptions? Well, that sounds like a puzzle for another time.